joining us in this admission and scholarship hacks masterclass. And today we'll be talking about references and transcripts and other documents as well, right? And I'm sure you want to know what we have for you. So your reference letters and your transcript, there are two other essential documents you're going to need for study abroad. And definitely we don't want to leave you hanging. So we're going to handle all those documents that you need. So let's start with your reference letter. What is reference letter? Before I go into the types, reference letter is a letter written by someone, usually somebody senior to you. It must not be senior to you, but somebody you've worked with in one way or the other. When I mean work, it doesn't have to be like paid work at your workplace. It could also be you work with that person in school, they taught you. But this is a letter written by somebody. It's almost like saying, vouching for you that, oh, you are the best candidate that deserve to be admitted for that program. That's simply what reference letter does, okay? So there are two types of reference letter. We have the academic and the professional reference letter. All right, we have the academic and the professional reference letter. So let's start with the academic. The academic reference letter is a letter written by somebody that have taught you before. So maybe in your formal school, during your undergraduate, during your masters if you have masters already, during your PhD if you have PhD already, during your postgraduate diploma if you have, any program you've done in the past, somebody that have taught you, your professor, your lecturer, your teacher, that is someone that can serve as an academic reference. Just like the name goes, right? Academic, meaning that that person had an academic dealing with you. Okay, there is also professional reference. So professional reference is somebody who have worked with you before out of the academic environment. Sometimes the person may actually still be from your school, but the way to think about it is that the thing the person will be talking about is not about your grades or how you're a good student. It's more about your leadership qualities and all the like things outside the class. Because I've had one of my professors serve as an academic reference referee for me. How? Because that person taught me, but also I worked with him in organizing some things for the department for my school. So he was talking about my ability to organize things, my ability to lead my course mates and all that. So that can also be a professional reference. So I just want to clarify that if that person is your professor, doesn't mean they can't serve as a professional reference. But they will not be talking about academics. They'll be talking about the non-academic things about you. However, traditionally, professional references are people you've worked with, people in your workplace, say your boss. It doesn't even have to always be your boss. It can actually just be your co-worker, right? Or your immediate senior at work. Some people think that, oh, if I want professional reference, if I get my CEO to write it, is stronger. Well, not really. The reference written by your CEO and the reference written by the head of your department and the reference written by your immediate senior, let's say your supervisor at work, they all kind of carry the same weight. And in fact, okay, we're just going to talk about that, but at least you understand what professional reference is. And let's say you've not worked before. How can you get professional reference? You can get professional reference from other places that you've worked that are not traditional workplace. If you've worked in church, you can get your pastor to give reference for you, or if you worked in a mosque, as the case may be, right? It could also be a place you are volunteering. They can do professional reference for you. So think wild, think outside the box. Anybody you've worked with before in any format, they can serve as professional reference for you. Now, there are things for you to do when you want to choose a referee. There are 6 things that I want you to take note of. Please write this on your notepad. Write it on your notepad so that you won't forget. When you want to choose a referee, right, get someone that knows you. Some people, they just want to go and get a referee that has big name. You want to go and get the commissioner for your state. Well, in some cases that will work. But when you are going abroad to study, that will not make any special difference compared to if you got your supervisor at work, right? The most important thing is that this person should speak speak like they know you. They should be able to say some extra details. I remember one time, a friend of mine was going abroad to study. So he decided to go meet this professor to be a referee. You know what the professor did? The professor just wrote, she's a good student. I called her any I called her any help you can give to her. What is that? Is that a reference letter? Because the professor is feeling like, oh, I'm a professor. Anybody that hears my name matters, but that's not the main thing. The main thing is, what is this professor saying about you? Another person may go and look for a lecturer that knows him or her very well, that is not a professor, and that lecturer will just be like, she's a very good student, she comes early to work, she's very dedicated. When you give her assignment, she goes the extra mile to see the assignment is done. Oh, one time, give example. Providing example means they really, really know you. Say one time she was late to exam, or no, I don't want to say late to exam. So, okay, one time so thing happened. She did this. She won research awards in school. They have to be able to say details, small details that other people don't know about you. That's what means that they know you, right? And if they don't know you, it's difficult for them to say those things. So get somebody that knows you, or somebody that is willing to say those things for you. Either one works. Then take relationship over title. It's better to get somebody that knows you and that can say so much about you than getting the biggest person in your workplace who doesn't even know anything about you. They won't be able to write much, right? So your reference letter is very, very, very important. It has the same importance like your CV and your reference letter. So just understand that it's very important, and if it's very scanty, it's bad for you. It's bad for you. I had somebody that applied for PhD, and he was denied. So we tried to query, because he took my lecture, right? And I said, write the supervisor that you agreed because he also got supervisor. Say, write the supervisor, ask him, oh, you got the admission, it was not positive. What can you do to improve? Guess what happened? The supervisor said, oh, I see your application was good, but your referees, your reference letter wasn't good. So you can lose admission because of your reference letter. You don't want to play with it, my dear. So explain to them. That's number 3. Explain to your referee what is needed. Some people, which also comes from when you go and choose somebody that is high and mighty. You are fidgeting. You can't even talk to them. You just say, yes, sir, please just give me the reference. Just give me the reference. However, make effort to explain to them what is needed. You need like one full page talking about you and how awesome you are for that reference letter to work. So you must explain to your referee that is what is expected. Okay? Now, confirm email address. Many schools are going to ask you for email address. That's how they communicate with most of your the referees you're going to submit. So don't make mistake in the referee's email address. If you do, they're not going to get the letter that the school is going to send to them. And if they don't get the letter, they won't submit the reference letter. Your admission is incomplete. You're not going to get the admission. Okay? So confirm their email address, and when you are typing it in, because it's not your own, you may not know the correct thing. I've seen people make mistake with typing in email address of referee, and that is always catastrophic. Now confirm availability. Okay, there was this client that was working with a referee. The referee said, I'll be on sabbatical leave for 1 year. You're not going to hear from me. Do you still want to use that person as your referee? Because by the time you need him or her, what's going to happen? By the time you need him or her, he will be nowhere to be found. Your admission will be incomplete. You won't get the admission. Make sure the person you're going to use as your referee is going to be available to send the reference letter. Okay? Now, also, get their consent. Some people, they'll first go and put your name and email. Submit to the school, then come and meet you. No, what if the person say no? Then you lose that admission, right? So make sure that the person is saying yes before you go on and put their contact information. So these are the 6 things you must keep in mind and you should follow when trying to get someone to be your referee. Okay, now how references are submitted. Again, don't worry, I've handled a lot of clients. So again, a client of mine told me that, oh, the referee, I think the same person that said that, the same referee that said she or he is going on sabbatical leave, now printed the reference letter, wrote it down and gave to her to keep. And I'm like, no, the school is going to send your referee a link to fill the reference information. So to fill that's the reference portion and the referee's information. They will send it most times directly to the referee's email. So this piece of paper you are holding is not going to work. You see? So how that client was doing that because she had not already understood how references are submitted. So what usually happens is that when you are filling your application online, most of the case they will ask you for your referee's information. So when you are meeting a referee, what you really need is their name, email, and phone number, and maybe the name of their school, and maybe their position. That's majorly what you need at the onset. So you fill it into the application form. The school will now send the referee an email, right, and say fill it. Then the referee will open their email, fill the information, and submit. That's how it's done. Sometimes too, sometimes they will ask for paper reference letter, but in that case they want the referee to send it via, let's say, courier, DHL, UPS, or anyone that is available in that country. So the referee will send it directly to the school sealed. You see? So these are other ways to send reference letter. Sometimes this may become important when a referee tells you that their email address is not working. Or they can't get email from the school where they teach. In that case, confirm from the school that you can send a paper reference letter, okay? And then you can send it directly from the school. But before you do that, make sure you confirm from the school. Make sure you speak to the graduate coordinator. The other one is as specified by the school. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know what your school is going to need and how they're going to need the reference letter sent to them. So no matter what I've said here today, what is most important is that you are going to go to the school website. You're going to read the details about reference letter. You're going to read how they want you to submit the reference letter. Go to the frequently asked questions. It's most likely going to be there. If you don't find any of this information, contact the graduate coordinator and ask more about how your referee should submit your reference letter. Okay, so make sure that you follow whatever the school have told you to do. Make sure you follow that. Okay. So one other thing to keep in mind is that we are providing you with templates. So you are going to search through the course platform. You are going to be able to see the templates. Make sure you take a look at them, and you can actually send your referees some samples. Okay. So then another thing is you can get sample reference letter from Google. Okay, you can get sample reference letter from Google. So again, go to Google, type sample reference letter for a graduate student going for public health, something like that, or put in your course, right? I always use public health because that's what I studied. So put in your course, going for law, going for linguistics, going for international diplomacy or public policy, or so put it and go to images. You're going to see templates, read it, and that way you will know what is expected and you'll be able to communicate what is expected to your referee. Okay, now request to send templates to your referee. Once you get the templates that we're going to give to you, okay, make sure you ask your referee, should I send you templates? Some referee will even ask you to construct the reference letter and send to them. Let them see. Be proactive. Don't leave them to say, oh, if they need it, they will ask me. They may be shy to ask you. Some referee, they've not done reference letter before for anybody going abroad to study, right? So don't leave any stone unturned. Ask them, I have some templates, do you want some? They'll be able to say yes, and maybe you'll be able to send it to them. Be proactive. Okay, follow up on your referee. So after you've submitted their details, follow up on them. Ask them, have you gotten the email from the school? Have you sent it? It's going to look like it's disturbance, but trust me, you want to better disturb them so that they can submit your reference letter than leave it for them not to leave it, and at the end of the day it's not submitted. Some referee, they will tell you, when do you need the reference letter to be submitted? You will not go and tell them the last day. On that day, you will be shocked that you and the referee will be running helter-skelter. Always want them to submit your reference letter 2 weeks ahead of time, 1 week ahead of time minimum. So just tell them that, yeah, the admission whatever is also time, but it is advised that we submit it a week before. It is advised that we submit it 2 weeks before. Okay, that's one thing for you to do. Follow up. Now let's talk about transcripts. You know what transcript is, right? I've told you before. Transcript is that piece of paper that the school you went to gives to you that tell people about your grade. Okay, there is official transcript and non-official transcript. The official one is the transcript that you have not touched, that is going from your school to the school you want to study, right? But unofficial, it is the same content, but it becomes unofficial if you have handled the transcript. Because why is it unofficial? Meaning that some people may have altered the thing on the transcript, right? So they call it unofficial. And one thing you have to know is that you are going to need your official transcript and your unofficial transcript, but at different times. We're going to talk about that. And I have written here how to convert from one form to another. Let's say you have an official transcript. You can ask your school to send a transcript, say, to an agency close to you. And you can go to that agency and pick it up, right? So when you go to the agency and pick it up, it becomes unofficial. If it's hard copy, you can actually scan it into soft copy. But in terms of so that transcript they send to an agency is official transcript, right? But when you get access to it, it becomes unofficial transcript. So that's how you can extract your transcript from the school, by asking them to send it to an agency close to you. Sometimes some schools are able to send via email to any organization or any company. So figure that out as to what is applicable for your school. Now, you can also convert your unofficial transcript into an official transcript. How? Sometimes, let's take for example, during the pandemic, some people could not get to their school to get their transcript, but at the same time some schools were still accepting students online. How did these students survive? I remember some of my clients, what they did was that the unofficial transcript that they had with them, they went to a law firm or spoke to a lawyer, then it is notarized. Once you notarize that unofficial transcript, it becomes official, because when you are notarizing it, it's like swearing that this is the correct thing. So it turns the unofficial transcript into an official transcript. So if you can't get your official transcript, or somebody else told me that I'm from a war zone, my school has been destroyed, I have my unofficial transcript, but the school is asking for official transcript. How do I do it? Notarize it. Okay? So you can convert unofficial transcript to official transcript and vice versa. Now, when do you need an official transcript? Usually, most schools will ask you for official transcript after they've given you admission, because they figure that if they ask you to submit your official transcript right now, you will submit it, you will be sending it to them, and yet they've not given you admission, meaning that if 10,000 people apply to their school, they'll get 10,000 transcripts. So many of them have actually gone to the extent of they ask you to submit your soft copy transcript, which is the unofficial one, online when you apply. When they give you admission, then they now ask you to send your official transcript from the school, which you can send from the school, or if you can't get it from your school, you can send the copy that is notarized and speak to your graduate coordinator to notify them of whatever your situation is and why you are handling it that way. Okay, so you will need your official transcript as the school specify. Some people will come now, you can see a school that will tell you we want official transcript. Like when I applied to University of Toronto, they told me to upload my unofficial transcript online so that they'll be using it to they will use it to continue the admission process. But they say right away send us your official transcript as well. You see. So they wanted the two, the unofficial one and the official one. You must read what the school asks you to do. Don't quote me. Don't say Dr. Linda said we submit the official transcript now, and we submit the unofficial transcript now and submit the official transcript later. What has the school asked you to do? Do that. Even if the school said don't submit unofficial transcripts, submit only official transcript, do that. You must follow what the school asks you to do, because different schools are different. Okay? So get your student copy or soft copies. Get it, because you need it when you're applying for schools abroad. Most times they're going to ask you to upload your transcript online, right? Some people will tell me that their school said they can't get it. It's not true. Some people from that school also have gone abroad to study, meaning some people from that school got their transcript. How did they get it? Ask question. When you go to the exams and record, I always say, don't just go and say officially I'm here to collect my transcript. They will not tell you officially it cannot be given to you. Instead, call somebody by the side, say I'm here to collect my transcript. My school really needs it. Without it, I can't get admission abroad. See, this is life or death. I need my transcript. How can I do it? How have other people gotten their transcript? They will say it's not possible. Leave it, go. Come back the next day. Speak to the next person. Before you talk to all the people in that office, somebody is going to listen to you. And I will say, whenever you want to do that, avoid talking to a group of people, because everybody is trying to be right. It's not me that they want to say I'm not the one that will be that they will hear that I was the one that gave a student their transcript. So it's always better and in your favor when you call somebody by the side and say, please, this is what I want. Supposing it is not official for you to get your student transcript. In my school, when I was applying, it was not official, right? So I had to find a way to get it. And another thing some people will ask me is, they have a hard copy of their transcripts. Another thing people will ask me is, they have a hard copy of their transcript. How do they get the soft copy? All you just need to do is what? All you just need to do is scan the hard copy into soft copy. Viola, you have your soft copy. So, correct any error from school administration. Sometimes school can make mistake on your transcript. So when you get the soft copy, you look at it. The grade they say you have, is it the grade you have? If not, reach out to the school. Then, how transcripts are transmitted. I already say you can upload transcript online. It can be from institution to institution or as specified by the school. Then use trackable postal services. If a school asks you to submit your official transcript, send it in such a way that you are going to have tracking number, so that when it's delivered to the school, you will know. So let it not be that you have sent it, you don't know whether the school got it or not. You are busy worried, right? If you just pay extra money and track it, it will be better for you. You have more peace. Common transcript error is including a non-transcript program in your education history when you are filling the application form, because they will ask you for the transcript and you cannot get it. It's going to take you more than 3 months trying to sort that out. So if you did a program that they did not give you transcript, or you cannot get transcript from the school, do not include it under your education history. Instead, put it in your CV and put it under additional training received in your CV. Okay? So what to do when you make a mistake? So supposing you make a mistake and you put a program that you don't have transcript for. What I mean by you don't have transcript for, you can't get the transcript, there's no transcript. What you can do, email the graduate coordinator immediately and ask them to remove it from your application back end. Right? If it's on your CV, it's not a problem. But if you filled it in under the application form on the system, let them remove it from back end. So if not, it will keep showing that your application is incomplete. And when your application is incomplete, it won't be forwarded to the graduate coordinator for review. So don't say I've uploaded others, so let me let it be. Okay? How many transcripts do you need? you need transcript for all your post-secondary education. So some people, let's say somebody have BSc, postgraduate diploma and a master's. How many transcripts do you need? 3. You have to submit transcript for all the schools you are listing that you have attended, all the degrees you are listing that you have attended. So some people say, I have BSc, I have postgraduate diploma, I have masters, I'm applying for PhD. Should I just submit my master's transcript? No, you need all of them. But usually what is considered is the last education. In fact, if it's something like a BSc, they usually consider the last 1 year or the last 2 years. But you must submit everything. Okay, so don't fall into the hole of trying to submit just one transcript when you have multiple degrees. Other documents that you may need include your post-secondary certificate. That's that's your secondary school certificate, right? Some schools, especially when you apply for things like postgraduate diploma, some weird schools will ask you for your secondary school certificate. Let's say for especially people from West Africa, they say WAEC or something. They want you to submit it and they say, oh, bring a scratch card too. Just follow the school instruction, okay? Then any other thing that the school is asking you for, if they give you the name of a document that you don't know, go online and type the name of that document on Google. Find out what that document means, what it represents. Sometimes I've seen some clients that they work with us and they are doing the application, they see a name, they just come back to me, Dr. Linda, what does this document mean? And I'm like, did you ask Google this question? No. I want you to be self-reliant. I don't want you depending on us by the time you graduate from this course. I don't want you depending on us. Not because we can't help you, but because if you depend on yourself, if you are self-reliant, the better for you, the better for the people around you. But if you keep relying on us, that means you have not grown. You are still a caterpillar. You are no longer you are not a butterfly yet. But we want you to be a butterfly. We want this to just be a basis from which you are going to fly from. Okay, so if you see any document that the school asks you to submit that you don't know, punch the name on Google, read about it. What does this document entail? What does it? Go to YouTube, look at a video that explains what that document is about, and you'll be able to come up with that document. I'm telling you. So when in doubt, contact this graduate coordinator. Let's say you don't understand what this document means. If you write the graduate coordinator, he or she is going to be able to advise you on what exactly to do, because graduate coordinators are nice. And this is it about references and transcript and any other documents you're going to come across. Okay, so make sure that you are taking notes. If you have not taken notes, watch this lecture again and take note, because these are very important things for you to keep. Okay, so till I see you in the next lecture. Thank you.